Welcome to Mary Potter Podcast, your weekly magical probe into the wild tales of the wizarding world of flash fiction.
Oh, I love that.
Today we're diving into two captivating flash fiction stories, filled with fiery magic and shifting realities.
I'm excited for this one.
Me too!
Yeah.
You sent us some really fascinating material this week, and we've extracted the most intriguing nuggets for you.
Nuggets, I love it.
Get ready for mythical creatures, hidden battles, and illusions that blur the lines of what's real.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so let's plunge right into our first flash fiction story. The Phoenix's Shadow, Ember Within.
Okay.
This one centers on Alex, a teenager whose life takes a dramatic turn after a near-fatal car accident.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's intense. This trauma ignites a connection to a phoenix spirit.
A phoenix spirit.
Yes, granting him these incredible fiery abilities and thrusting him into this clandestine world of mythical battles.
So she's going from like 0 to 100 real quick.
Right, it's a total whirlwind for him. The story explores these themes of self-acceptance and discovering inner strength in really unexpected circumstances.
I mean, that's classic hero's journey stuff right there.
It is. What I find really compelling is Alex's state before this awakening happens.
Oh, yeah. Like, where is he at?
He's grappling with this sense of vulnerability and confinement after the accident.
Makes sense.
You know, he used to be this kid who charged headfirst into trouble.
Uh-huh.
But now even simple tasks feel monumental for him.
So there's like this huge contrast between his old self and who he is now.
Exactly. It's a really powerful setup. Then we have this pivotal moment on the rooftop.
Okay, the rooftop.
This sudden surge of heat, a fleeting vision of a fiery bird.
Whoa, hold on. So we're talking like an actual phoenix.
That's what he sees. But his initial reaction is disbelief. He even questions his sanity.
Well, yeah, I mean, who wouldn't, right?
Right. It makes you wonder, how do we differentiate between a genuine experience and our minds just playing tricks on us?
Especially after a traumatic event like that.
Exactly. And then we have the fire itself.
Oh, so he really does have fire powers.
This nascent tendril of flame erupting from his fingertips.
Imagine that. Like what?
I know, right? It's mind-blowing. The story details his secret experimentation with it.
Okay, so he's like testing the waters.
He is starting small and gradually increasing the intensity.
But it's phoenix fire. So is it like burning everything down?
That's the fascinating part. It doesn't leave any mark of destruction, only warmth.
Wait, what? How is that even possible?
It's unique to this phoenix fire. And it really ties into that whole idea of rebirth and renewal.
Instead of just pure destruction.
Exactly. And then the dreams start.
Dreams.
Vivid, almost visceral dreams, filled with ancient clashes between mythical creatures.
Sounds intense.
And there's this recurring call of a phoenix echoing his name.
Ooh, that's creepy. Like it's beckoning him.
It is. It's as if his subconscious is trying to process and integrate this newfound reality.
So the lines between his dreams and waking life are getting blurry.
Very much so. There are even these subtle echoes in his daily life.
Like what?
Shadows that flicker like wings of fleeting featheriness in his reflection.
That's so cool. It's like foreshadowing.
It is. And that's where Mr. Griggs comes in.
Who's Mr. Griggs?
This reclusive neighbor who runs the used bookstore.
Okay, so like the wise old mentor figure.
Exactly. He recognizes the true significance of what's happening to Alex.
So he knows about the Phoenix connection.
He does. And he understands the implications of these powers.
Does he try to help Alex?
He does, but he also delivers this chilling warning.
Oh, a warning. Like what's he warning him about?
He tells him about others who have been touched by these ancient creatures and how it fundamentally alters their lives.
That sounds ominous.
He says, your life. It's not yours anymore, lad.
Wow, that's heavy stuff. It completely changes the stakes.
Right. This isn't just about a teenager with a cool ability. It's about being drawn into this ancient, hidden world.
With dangers he can't even fathom.
Exactly. Then we're introduced to Kira, who can transform into lightning.
Whoa, hold on. Transform into lightning.
They can. They team up and start training together.
Okay, so they're like this dynamic duo.
Sort of.
Hmm.
But their training is fascinating. It's not about traditional magic.
Oh, so what is it about?
It's about learning to harness and control this raw, untamed wildfire within, as the story calls it.
That sounds intense and a little bit dangerous.
It is. It implies that control doesn't come from rote learning, but from understanding and channeling this inherent force.
So it's like a deeper, more intuitive connection.
Right, and the story highlights this inner conflict he faces.
What kind of conflict?
This urge of the phoenix fire to destroy, which mirrors the phoenix's nature.
Okay.
Versus Alex's struggle to temper it with what's described as reckless compassion.
Reckless compassion.
Yeah.
Interesting combination. So it's like this constant push and pull within him.
Exactly. And then he faces his first real test, a battle against this unnamed, monstrous creature.
This is where the training comes in.
You can almost feel Alex's fear in this moment. That memory of his post-accident vulnerability comes flooding back.
I bet. But he has Kira and the Phoenix Fire now.
He does, but the outcome is surprising. He doesn't obliterate the creature.
What? So what does he do?
He uses the Phoenix Fire to infuse it with vitality.
Vital.
It ultimately transforms the creature into harmless embers.
So instead of destroying it, he kind of heals it.
In a way, Griggs even mentions the Phoenix Fire's ability to heal.
Wow. So there's this whole other dimension to this power.
There is. It suggests its purpose isn't solely destructive.
But also about creation and transformation.
Exactly. And for Alex, it's a pivotal moment. He's reflecting on these profound changes he's undergone.
I can only imagine what's going through his mind.
And there's this glimmer of hope for the first time. This possibility of finding his place and purpose in this new reality.
That's really uplifting. It leaves you pondering the myriad ways these hidden powers could manifest.
It really does.
Oh, okay.
So let's shift gears entirely and dive into our second flash fiction story, The Architect of Illusions, The Mind Maze.
Intriguing title.
This one explores a completely different facet of magic, the captivating and sometimes unsettling power of illusion.
Okay, I'm curious.
It takes us into the world of Liam, a teenage illusionist who is far beyond your typical stage magician.
Oh. So like David Copperfield level.
Way beyond. He possesses this extraordinary ability to craft incredibly immersive illusions.
What kind of illusions are we talking about?
Entire scenes that his audience perceives as utterly real. Like he can transform a gymnasium into a pirate cove or a dragon's lair.
Whoa. That's next level. It's like bending reality itself.
It really is. But then things take a bit of a dark turn.
Oh.
His most ambitious illusion, this sprawling cityscape, it simply refuses to dissipate.
So he's lost control?
He has. And the audience's reaction shifts dramatically from awe to genuine terror.
Yeah, I'd be terrified too if a cityscape suddenly materialized out of thin air.
Right. It must have been a truly terrifying moment for him, realizing he's lost control of his own creation.
Talk about a nightmare scenario.
And the consequences start to bleed into his everyday reality.
How so?
Phantom vehicles appear on his street. There's this pervasive sense of wrongness in the atmosphere.
Like the world is out of sync.
Exactly. The very fabric of his world seems to be fraying.
Under the weight of his imagination.
It really does raise the question, how fragile is the boundary between our internal world and the external reality we perceive?
It's a mind-bending concept.
It is.
Yeah.
He's plagued by insomnia. His focus is shattered by these intrusive flashes of his illusions.
So he's haunted by his own creations.
It creates this really unsettling atmosphere in the story.
I bet.
Naturally, he seeks answers. He delves into these dusty old magic tomes in the library.
The classic move.
He uncovers these cryptic whispers of thresholds and minds possessing the power to influence reality.
So he's stumbling onto something bigger than himself.
He is. And then he has this chilling encounter
With what?
with this impossibly tall and twisted shadow in the library.
A shadow.
It's unseen by anyone else.
Okay.
And then there's this disembodied voice.
Okay. Now I'm getting chills.
The voice delivers this cryptic warning about finding the door before it finds him.
Sounds like a threat.
It is. It injects this immediate sense of danger and pursuit.
Like something is hunting him.
And then the threat becomes even more personal. This tendril of darkness actually reaches out to him.
He needs to get out of there.
He does. He makes a panicked retreat to his bedroom.
But is he safe?
Not really. It's implied that the shadow is now within him.
Oh, wow. So he can't escape it.
That's the terrifying part. This constant reminder that his illusions are becoming dangerously real and are now actively hunting him.
That's a truly unsettling concept.
It is. It makes you think about the potential consequences of unchecked mental power and the shadows our own minds might harbor.
Okay, so what happens next? Does Liam figure out how to control his powers?
That's the central conflict of the story. This race against time to understand and gain mastery over his abilities
Before it's too late.
before his illusions completely merge with reality.
Which could cost him his sanity or even his life.
Exactly. It's a compelling exploration of the potential dark side of imagination and the responsibility that comes with wielding such a potent force.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
It really makes you contemplate the very nature of reality. How much of what we perceive as solid and fixed is actually shaped by our own minds and collective beliefs.
Whoa, that's deep.
Both of these stories challenge those boundaries of what's real and what's not.
They do in such different ways.
Right. In Alice's case, an external force awakens something within him.
While Liam's internal world starts to reshape his external reality.
It's fascinating to consider these two contrasting mechanisms of magical influence.
It really is. So there you have it. Two incredible flash fiction stories showcasing the potent and sometimes perilous nature of magic.
We journeyed with Alex as he grapples with newfound fiery abilities tied to a mythical creature and gets thrust into a hidden world of ancient conflicts.
And we witnessed the astonishing and terrifying consequences faced by Liam the young illusionist, whose imagination begins to reshape reality itself.
What stood out to you most in these magical probes?
For me, it was the contrast between the two types of magic.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, you have this raw elemental power connected to a mythical being.
Almost like a force of nature.
Exactly. And then you have the magic of the mind, the ability to shape perception so profoundly that it blurs the line with reality.
It makes you wonder what other forms of magic might exist out there.
Right. And what kind of potential lies dormant within us.
These tales leave us with a lingering thought. What latent powers might lie dormant within us, waiting for a catalyst to awaken them.
And how fragile is the boundary between our inner world and the reality we perceive?
We encourage you to delve deeper into these themes and perhaps explore more flash fiction from the wizarding world.
Definitely. There's a whole world of captivating stories out there waiting to be discovered.
Join us next time for another magical probe on Mary Potter Podcast.
See you then. Bye.